Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Tune in English, where we help you speak English naturally through real conversations. I'm Anna.
And I'm Adam. Today's topic is one that almost every English learner struggles with at some point, the difference between make and do.
Yes, and if you've ever said something like make homework or do a mistake, don't worry, you are definitely not alone.
Absolutely. In fact, I used to hear this mistake all the time from students. And honestly, even advanced learners sometimes pause and think, wait, is it make or do?
Exactly. So, in today's episode, we're going to make this simple. See what I did there?
Nice one. And by the end of this conversation, you'll feel much more confident using both verbs correctly in daily life.
Let's start with a quick example. Adam, tell me about your weekend.
Well, I tried to be productive. I woke up early, made breakfast, answered emails, and then I thought, okay, time to be responsible. So I started saying to myself, I need to make the laundry, make the dishes, and make my taxes.
Hold on, pause right there. We need to fix something important.
I knew it. What did I say wrong?
You said make the laundry and make the dishes. In English, we say do the laundry and do the dishes.
Right. And this is exactly why we're talking about this today. Because logically, both make and do sound possible. They're both actions, so why does English choose one instead of the other?
Great question. Here's the simple rule that helps most learners. Make is usually used when you create something or produce something. Do is usually used when you perform a task or activity.
So make equals create, and do equals perform.
Exactly. Let's look at a clear example. If I say, I'm going to make a cake, what happens?
A cake appears. Something new exists that didn't exist before.
Right. You created something. That's why we use make.
And if you say, I'm going to do my homework, you're not creating homework. The homework already exists, you're just completing the task.
Perfect explanation. That's do. Performing an activity that already exists.
Let me test myself. When I make a mistake, I create something new. Unfortunately.
Exactly. A new mistake enters the world because of you.
Wow. Thanks for that mental image.
I'm just helping you remember.
Okay, what about this? Do exercise.
Yes, that's correct. You do exercise because exercise is an activity you perform. You're not creating exercise itself, you're simply doing the action.
I see. So make breakfast, but do exercise.
Correct. And here's another useful pair. Make dinner, but do the cooking.
Wait, those sound almost the same.
They are similar, but the focus changes slightly. When you say make dinner, you're talking about producing the meal, the result. When you say do the cooking, you're talking about the activity, the task itself.
That's interesting. So sometimes English chooses the verb depending on whether we focus on the result or the activity.
Exactly. That small difference explains many situations where learners feel confused.
Let's give listeners some very common expressions with make so they can start building a mental list. We say make a decision, make a plan, make money, make a phone call, and make a mess.
Yes, and notice something important. Many of these results are things you cannot physically touch. You can't hold a decision in your hand, but you can still make one.
That's a great point. So make often connects with results, sometimes physical, sometimes abstract.
Exactly. Now let's compare that with do expressions. We say do homework, do the dishes, do the cleaning, do your job, and do your best.
These are all activities or responsibilities, tasks we complete.
Right. And the more you notice these patterns, the more natural the choice between make and do becomes.
I already feel like this is starting to make sense, but I know learners still have one big question. What about the confusing cases, the ones that don't seem to follow the rule.
Yes, because English always has a few surprises. Some phrases are simply collocations, meaning certain words naturally go together, and you just have to learn them through exposure and practice.
So the rule helps most of the time, but real fluency comes from hearing and using the common combinations again and again.
Exactly. And next, let's walk through some tricky examples that learners often mix up and practice choosing the correct verb together.
All right, Anna, I'm ready for the challenge. Give me some situations, and I'll try to choose the correct verb, make or do.
Perfect. Let's start easy. You have a very important choice about your future job. Do you make a decision or do a decision?
That one I know. Make a decision.
Correct, because you are creating a decision, something that didn't exist before.
Okay, next one. Washing plates after dinner. We do the dishes, not make the dishes.
Exactly. You're completing a task, not creating dishes. Now try this. Helping someone. You do someone a favor or make someone a favor.
Do someone a favor.
Right again, it's a helpful action, so we use do. Now, here's one learners often mix up. Make money or do money?
Definitely make money, because money is something you produce or earn.
Yes. Even though the money already exists somewhere, the idea is that your work creates new income for you. So English uses make.
Interesting. That shows how English sometimes focuses on the result rather than the literal meaning.
Exactly. Now let's talk about another very common expression, make friends.
That's a nice one. You make friends because friendships are something you create over time.
Perfect. And here's another important pair. Do business, but make a deal.
Oh, that's a great contrast. When you do business, you're performing business activities in general. But when you make a deal, you create a specific agreement.
Exactly. Understanding these small differences helps your English sound much more natural.
Let's talk about daily routines, because this is where learners use these verbs the most. We say make breakfast, make coffee, and make lunch.
Right, because you're producing food or drinks. But we say do the shopping, do the laundry, and do the cleaning.
All tasks, things you complete regularly.
Here's another useful one. Make an effort versus do your best.
Interesting. Both are similar in meaning, but English chooses different verbs.
Yes, when you make an effort, you're creating effort. You're putting energy into something. When you do your best, you're performing at your highest level.
That's a subtle difference, but it makes sense. English really loves these fixed expressions.
It does. And the more you hear them, the more natural they feel. That's why listening practice is so important.
Let's try a mini story example so listeners can hear these phrases naturally. Imagine it's Monday morning. I wake up early, make coffee, make breakfast, then I do some exercise.
After that, you do your emails, do some work, and hopefully make progress on your projects.
Later in the day, I make a phone call, make a plan for the week, and try to make time for my family.
And before bed, you probably do the dishes and do the laundry, the exciting parts of adult life.
Very exciting. But this kind of storytelling really helps learners see how these verbs appear constantly in everyday conversation.
Exactly. Another helpful learning tip is grouping expressions together. For example, learn make a decision, make a plan, make a choice as a set. Then learn do homework, do the cleaning, do the dishes as another set.
That's much easier than trying to memorize random phrases individually.
Yes, because your brain remembers patterns better than isolated information.
Let's talk about one confusing example learners often ask about. Make your bed. Why do we say make your bed instead of do your bed?
Good question. When you make your bed, you are creating order, turning messy blankets into a neat, finished result. That sense of producing a new state is why English uses make.
So again, English focuses on the result.
Exactly. Compare that with do your hair.
Right, we say do your hair, not make your hair.
Because the focus is the activity, styling, brushing, arranging, rather than producing something completely new.
This results versus activity idea is really helpful. I think listeners should ask themselves one simple question. Am I creating something or am I performing a task?
That's the perfect habit. It won't solve every single case, but it will guide you correctly most of the time.
And what about exceptions? Because learners always ask, are there phrases that don't follow the rule?
Yes, a few. English has expressions that simply developed over time, and we keep them because they sound natural. For example, we say do damage even though damage feels like something created.
That's true. Logically, make damage would make sense, but English prefers do damage.
Exactly. When you encounter these cases, the best approach is exposure. Read, listen, and notice which verb native speakers use.
That reminds me of something important. Many learners try to translate directly from their own language, but sometimes translation creates mistakes like make homework or do a party.
Yes, and the natural English versions are do homework and have a party or throw a party.
So learning collocations, natural word combinations, is just as important as learning grammar rules.
Absolutely. Grammar tells you what is possible. Collocations tell you what sounds natural.
I love that distinction. And next, let's explore some useful idioms and conversational expressions with make and do that will help listeners sound even more fluent in everyday English.
All right, Adam, let's move into some idioms and conversational expressions with make and do, because this is where learners really start sounding more natural.
I agree. Grammar helps you be correct, but idioms help you sound fluent.
Exactly. Let's start with a very common one. Make up your mind. This means to decide.
So if someone keeps changing their choice, I might say, come on, make up your mind.
Perfect. Another one is make fun of someone, which means to tease or joke about them, hopefully in a friendly way.
Right. My friends always make fun of me because I drink coffee at midnight.
Here's another useful expression, make a difference. It means to create an impact or positive change.
For example, small daily practice can make a big difference in your English.
Exactly. Now let's look at an idiom with do. Do your part. This means to contribute your share of effort.
Like, everyone needs to do their part to keep the team successful.
Yes. Another one is do the trick, which means something solves the problem or achieves the desired result.
For example, I was very tired, but a short nap did the trick.
That's a very natural everyday phrase. And here's a fun mixed expression, make do. It means to manage with what you have, even if it's not perfect.
I don't have a proper desk, so I'll make do with the kitchen table.
Perfect example. Expressions like these appear constantly in movies, podcasts, and daily conversations.
Before we finish, let's give listeners a simple practice routine they can use after this episode.
Great idea. Step 1, write 2 short lists, one for make expressions and one for do expressions.
Step 2, create 5 simple sentences every day using expressions from each list.
Step 3, say those sentences out loud. Speaking helps your brain remember the correct combinations faster.
And step 4, listen carefully to native speakers and notice how often these verbs appear. You'll be surprised. They're everywhere.
Exactly. Over time, you won't need to think, is it make or do? It will start to feel automatic.
Let's do a quick review before we wrap up. What's the main idea again?
Make is generally used when we create, produce, or bring something into existence, like make a plan, make a decision, or make breakfast.
And do is generally used when we perform tasks, activities, or responsibilities, like do homework, do the dishes, or do your best.
And remember, some phrases are simply fixed expressions, so exposure and practice are the key to mastering them.
Exactly. Don't worry if you occasionally choose the wrong one. Mistakes are part of the learning process. In fact, you could say they help you make progress.
Nice usage. And now we'd love to hear from you. Which expressions with make and do are the most confusing for you?
Write them in the comments, and we may include them in a future episode so we can practice together.
If today's conversation helped you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Tune in English, and share this lesson with a friend who is learning English too.
Thanks for spending time with us today.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep improving every day.
See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.